What is poppin', you guys? What's poppin'? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? It's Shammy Deep back with another video. Uh, right now we're in the early morning hours of April 8th, 2026, and we're gonna cook up a beat. So tonight I'm kind of just vibing, just listening to some tracks that I like, and different genres, stuff I grew up on, and things I like to hear at this hour. I already picked out a few samples to kind of start with, but there's one particular song that I wanna take from directly, to start. So the first song we're gonna do is it's a track by Rochelle Jordan called "Never Enough." Really nice track. It's like a house type beat, but it's really nice. It's really soulful type of vibe. But there's one part that I really like in her vocal, and then there's also like an atmospheric part I want to sample too. So we're gonna sample the atmospheric part first, and then we'll see what we get. So here it's at. So it's this like rain sound. All right, so we're just gonna get a little bit of it, and I'm gonna just use it as like a texture in the background. Um, all right, that's all we want. We want just a little bit of the sound. It's an F sharp, so let's label that. Okay, got a nice loop there. Let's just put that as rain. We might chop off this part. Yeah. Yeah, do that. Do that. All right. So we're gonna loop that. So we have a little bit of atmosphere sounds. We're gonna throw a Decimort on here. I want to get rid of the high ends. So that's all we want. Matter of fact, I'm gonna throw this filter on it. Yeah. So it has a little atmosphere sound in the background just sitting there. So that's what we want, right? Alright, so now I want to start with her vocal. There's a couple parts in her vocal that I really like. But I gotta sift through them. I didn't chop it up yet, so we're gonna chop it up. See how if I can do this fast. Let me see. I swear you push for a reaction that will come across neurotic. I don't know where to go from here. It's just that every time you keep in mind, I have no idea what type of track this is gonna turn out to be. This could be a house track. This could be a hip hop track. It could be anything. I think I'm gonna up the BPM though. For the sake of the vocal. I swear you push for a reaction that will come across neurotic. I don't know where to go from here. Go from here, go from here. Where to go? Don't know where to go from here. It's just that every time you every time you come at me, every time you come at me, I'm trying to use logic. You come at me, I'm trying to use logic. Come at me, I'm trying. I'm trying to use logic. I'm trying to use logic. The way you fight just isn't fair. All love pretended. All love pretended. Always defended the way they made me feel. The way they made me feel so bad. The way they made me the way they made me feel so bad. Made me feel so bad. You don't hear, you don't see. It's been a heartbeat. Your words made me. Don't hear, you don't see. It's been a heartbeat. Your words got me so deep. This is not how it's supposed to be. But your words got me so deep. This is your words got me. Your words so deep. This is not how it's supposed to be. But so deep. Words got me so deep. This is not how it's supposed to be. But I'm just, 'cause it just seems, it just seems. It's never enough for you. Never enough for you. It's never enough for you. Never enough for you. It's like everything. It's like everything. It's like everything. It's like everything. It's like everything.
crowd of the table, I feel like we're going round and around. Just might hurt my head, I can't look in your eyes. On a crowd of the table, I feel like we're going round and around. Just might hurt my head, I can't look in your eyes. I remind of the your eyes, your eyes, your eyes. I remind of the time you made me smile at the start because I stood you and I kept coming in to push me out of your life. Your life, your life, your life, your life, your life. And I wanna give you my satisfied, satisfied, satisfied. Satisfied. I just lost a lot of thoughts to be nice again. Thoughts to be nice. Thoughts to be nice again. I must look the sky, jump off the guys. Next minute, I was on size. Tragedy, show gets lost. This time, once I get you off this body, finally gonna leave you behind. It's the sign that I feel. It's what I feel. It's like every day. Like this.
She's got a really nice vocal.
My love protected, loves defended, the way we make me how you accepted. You don't hear, you don't see. You spend a heartbeat, comes your words to me. Heartbeat, comes your heartbeat. To me so deep, this is not how it's supposed to be so. The words to me so deep, the words to me so deep. This is not how it's supposed to be. Come with your legend, cause it just seems such a strange. Let me stand up for you.
Okay, so I like that. I'm just gonna make a duplicate. So there's also another sample that I like. It's from a Drake track called Connect.
I like my dolphin.
Yeah, yeah, so that's another one that I like. Where did I get C sharp from? This is an F. Okay, so we got that, right? And what is this? This is These Worries, right? So this is a Cuddy track. I don't know what I liked from it. It's a little loud. Hold on. Yeah, I think I like that part. Just yeah, I like that part. Um, this is a Lil Wayne beat that I just like the bounce on this. It's probably gonna be too fast for this tempo. Alright, that's cool. Like I said, I still don't know what type of track this is gonna be, but I'm just playing around with some samples. This was the Michael Jackson song. I just really like these drum sounds. So they got really cool drum hits here. These things are knocking. I have to sample these. Yo, that you guys can't hear it, but those drums are knocking. Like I can feel the speaker just like banging right now. I might just sample that. That just I like that. Just these drums are sick. It's like that New Jack's swing. I'm not gonna sample all of that, but always like the way that sounds. I like to get everything on audio as fast as possible too. Just starting out with something, you know, I don't really know what this is gonna be, but we'll see what happens. Now I think these. Oh, this is 1 in a million. I like this one. It's a clean ass sound. I don't know what happened with the spelling there. Oh. Okay. Just trying to get something unique here. This one is Dr. Dre. Always loved the drums on this track. Forgot about Dre. This track had sick drums. We don't need that part. We just want the drums. Turn this down. Let's see what we keep. We might not use this. That's cool. That's cool. It's a little different type of bounce. And again, I'm just experimenting. You know, just trying to make something different. You know. Don't, like I said, don't know where this is gonna go, but it's going somewhere. That's for sure. All right. Put my own kick in there though. Might just do that now. No, I want this. Forgot about this sample. Those drums are nice. Let's see what we do with this. Yeah, I like that. Sounds good. I know what I need to do to this. I think I know. Oh. It needs to be that way. I don't think we need that little part.
My life, don't fall asleep on me, hang in there. Don't fall asleep on me. Don't fall asleep on me. Don't fall asleep on me, hang in there. I'll be there. Don't.
That's kind of cool.
Don't.
I like the way that sounds.
Don't.
Let's see if we can beat match it.
Don't fall asleep on me, hang in there. Don't fall asleep.
So we can get it on time.
Don't fall asleep on me, hang in there.
I don't know if it's gonna snap.
Don't fall asleep.
Let's see if it snaps. If it fits.
Don't fall asleep. Don't fall asleep on me, hang in there. Don't fall asleep on me, hang in there. I'll be there just fine. Don't fall asleep on me, hang in there. I'll be. Don't fall asleep. Don't fall asleep on me, hang in there. I'll be there just fine. Don't fall asleep on me.
It's almost some time.
Don't fall asleep on me, hang in there. I'll be there. Don't fall asleep on me, hang in there. Don't fall asleep on me, hang in there. I'll be there just fine. I'll be there just fine. I treat you good, girl, like you're famous. Don't fall asleep on me, hang in. Don't fall asleep on. Don't fall asleep on me, hang. Don't fall asleep on me. Don't fall asleep on me. Don't fall asleep on me, hang in there. I'll be there. Don't fall asleep on me, hang in there. I'll be.
Alright.
Don't fall asleep on me, hang in.
Yeah, that's the one that I really wanted. just gonna switch it up, see what else we get. What other type of groove we get. these hats right. see how you want to swing this. Yo, that swing is nasty. That swing is fucking nasty, yo. God damn, that swing is nasty. Like that's what you like. The drums gotta fucking hit, like no matter what. Like the sample's cool, you know, the bass line could be cool, but the drums gotta hit. Like with every beat, it all comes down to the drums. If your drums ain't right, then it's not gonna hit. And I'm not saying like your drums gotta be loud or like super like crispy. You gotta place the drums in the right spot. Like it has to be in the right spot. If it's not in the right spot, it's not gonna bounce correctly, you know? Yeah, that shit hard, nigga. That shit hard. kind of just like vibing out for quite a minute. um, so the next thing I want to do, I do want to add a bass line. Definitely want to add a bass line, but I want to first. I do want to add 1 or 2 percussion sounds, just to give it some like, more rhythm. And I want the percussion to play off the bass line. So we're gonna see how we're gonna do that. Quick intermission. You know what? I'll let the camera roll. This is all raw footage, you dig? Shit is straight raw dog, you dig, nigga? Raw dog. We raw dogging this joint. Oh, loud. Yeah, what's this, like 2 hours, almost 2 hours. Alright, while that loads, I'll run a little 2K real quick, you think? It's kind of close. Let me see if I can back it up a little bit. Oh, I can't. I don't know, like, let me see if I can position it where you guys can see the screen. You know what I mean? We in the studio playing 2K, making beats, you dig? That's how we do. Alright, here we go. You guys can see? You guys can see the screen? Yeah. Hold up. Wait a minute. I gotta get all this stuff off of here. Alright. Let's see. Can you Negroes see the screen? Alright. Here we go. Come on. Okay. I think that's good enough. Yeah, I can see it, right? Yeah. Alright, bet money. Alright, we locked in, cuz. We locked in. Hold up. Time out. Okay, so that the beat that we're working on, right? It's in B minor. So, when I get back to it, we're gonna hook it up in B minor. Hey, give me that, son. This is my creative player, by the way. He's a monster. He's an absolute dog. 2K. I'm playing the old 2K. This is 2K20, I believe. Ain't no. It's the last time I bought a 2K. Honestly, it's like COVID time. That was a great time to play video games when like everything was locked down. I was playing Warzone and 2K all day during COVID. It was like work, come home, play 2K, plays Warzone, go to sleep, and then go back to work and then do it again. And then I was making beats. I was out. So 2020, I started making beats in 2016, but I was like more locked in by the time 2021 came around. Cause like 2020, I was kind of like in a relationship, and like COVID times, like everybody was kind of just like everybody was like, I would say, just comfortable. You know, like we were all comfortable. No, nobody wanted to like. If you had something going with somebody, like you didn't really want to end it. You know what I mean? Because like a lot of uncertainty with like what was going on in the world. So, you know, just in something that lasted way too long. Let's put it that way. But regardless, by 2021, I started really taking music seriously. I was single. I was, you know, just working and partying, going out, and this was like a great time too, because uh, that was when lockdowns were like just about to end. Like lockdowns had officially ended, uh, going into summer of 2021. So like I was outside, like yeah, I was outside for sure. Like I used to work overnight, and after I got off, I would just go to the city, like just hang out, like after parties, 4 a.m. after parties till the sunrise. Like that's just how New York party scene was. It still is. But like during lockdown, it was lit because like everybody was like fresh from staying at home, so people were ready to go out. Like so, the party in 2021 was crazy. It was crazy. Like everybody was outside. It was a good ass time. Definitely a good ass time. Nigga, pass the ball. Yeah, it was a good ass time. We were outside for sure, and so I started taking music seriously. Then I wasn't like before then. I wasn't doing it full time. I was in school. I was, you know, busy with extracurriculars and this and that. But by the time, you know, 2021 came around, man, I went all in with music, and you know, I don't regret anything. I'm happy for the journey that I've been on. It's taken it's moving at a turtle's pace, but like it's getting somewhere. You know what I mean? Like I might not have progressed as fast as, you know, the other person did, who's already placed with a label and has gigs and this and that. But best believe, like I've been steadily climbing and building my skills and knowledge to the point where I feel like I can walk into any studio and instantly provide, you know, any type of advice or opinion, you know, like a legit valued opinion on musical information. So and I started from scratch, you know what I mean? Like I remember like me making my first beat literally like it was 20 fall 2016. Like I would say I made my first beat in like GarageBand, like when I was a kid, you know what I mean? Like you know, little GarageBand beats. And then like I remember in high school I downloaded the free version. Oh my god, I don't know how he made that. I downloaded the free version of FL Studio. At the time, I think, yeah, FL Studio. Yeah, it was. I remember it as being Fruity Loops, but FL. Yeah. And I downloaded it, and from there it was just like I made my first beat there, and I think it's on my Twitter. I posted a picture of me making a beat, and I'm pretty sure it was ass, like super ass, but I don't even remember what it sounds like. Then in 2016, when I actually started making beats like for real, I was taking a course at Bergen Community College, and I was literally, the course was like the exact name was like making music with computers. Like I'm pretty sure that was the name of the course. It was like an entry level um, extra activity that I needed for my degree, because I was doing medical. I was doing exercise science, and at the time I was taking all these like medical courses and this and that. But I needed an elective, so I took the. My mom actually signed me up for it. She's like, "Oh, do you want to do this? Like, I know you like music, so I was like, all right, cool." And like it was just no thought. I just took it just to take it, and sure enough, like end up falling in love with it. I would I would go to class, I would go to work, and then after work, I would go to the open lab that they had after class. So they would have open lab from like 4 to like 10, and then I got off at like 8 o'clock. So I was maybe like 20 minutes away from the school from work when I got off. So I would just rush there, have like an hour and a half to like just make beats on Logic or what's the other one? Pro Tools. I was all I made my first beat on Pro Tools, so I was messing around with that. And then like after like a month or two of just like doing it every day and going extra, I I made my first beat, and I ended up passing the class with a B plus. And it was crazy because I remember opening like the DAW and being like, "Yo, what am I doing? Like, I have no idea what I'm doing. Like, this looks so foreign. Like, I had zero knowledge about how to make beats, like zero. But again, I just stuck at it. I did it every day, and you know, obviously, I listened to a lot of different music. You know, like in that time, like I was, you know, I would drive to school, I would drive to work, I would drive home, and these each drive was like at least 20 minutes each. So like in that time, I'm listening to mixes, I'm listening to playlists and radio shows. So like I'm definitely getting like an ear full of information each day, and my speakers in my car at the time were bumping, so like I could hear everything. I was getting like quality sounding experience when it came to listening to music. So so that's kind of how I learned. I just learned by ear, and then you know eventually, because at that time there wasn't a lot of information on YouTube about how to make beats. Like there were some videos, but it was like really difficult to like follow. Like there was very little information about that stuff back in that time. Like nowadays, it's like completely opposite. You can literally learn how to make beats in a week if you just sat on YouTube. But back then it was hard. So I just had to learn by ear, and then you know a couple people I met, they gave me some pointers, this and that, but for the most part, it was just trial and error for me. You know, I made a couple cool things, and my teacher, like, she liked it. I remember she took a couple of my beats and played it for, like, the school's, I think they had, like, a runway show or whatever, like, some fashion runway show. And so, since I was making, like, house beats, she, like, had my beats in the show because she liked them. So I was like, word, yo, like, that was cool. That was, like, the first time someone ever, like, I guess played my beats for other people because they liked it. You know what I mean? Like, and like those beats were okay. Like amateur level, like okay. You know what I mean? They're decent, but they weren't no real like heat. You know what I mean? But still, like she liked it, and I'm sure other people liked it. I remember getting feedback from people saying they liked what I did. So that like just gave me the confidence to just keep going, and then I just never quit, you know. It's like some people, they quit and they never find out what they're capable of, and I never wanted to be like that, you know what I mean? How does he miss that? I always wanted to find out what I'm capable of, because I knew I have greatness in me. I always known that since I was like a little kid. Like there's definite greatness. Oh man, there's greatness all around each one of us. No way. No way! Oh my god. That's about that shit. Hold on. Yeah, so you know, I just kept at it, and then I eventually just, you know, I got more equipment. I bought a laptop. You know, I really sacrificed a lot of my free time, you know, time of hanging out with friends. Like that year, 2021, I literally gave up like hanging out with friends, going out. Well, I went out for like purposes of studying music and the crowd and the energy, and you know what I mean? Like when I went out, I purely went out for just like seeing DJs and festivals and parties and stuff like that. So it wasn't like I was just going out to the bar and drinking and hanging around like like twiddling my thumbs and you know what I mean. Like I wasn't BSing. Like I went out for a purpose. I networked. You know, I really experienced the nightlife scene. And so when I went home, I just made beats that I would want to hear when I was out in these clubs. So that's kind of how I really learned. And you know, that's what you have to do. You know, you have to be, you know, dedicated to the point where it's all you think about. It's all you want to do. You know, and sometimes it's almost all the time it's gonna suck. You know, like it's never fun. But like once you get in it's in the initial thought of it, it's never fun. Like getting in the, like sitting down, you know, turning on the computer, turning on this and that. You know what I mean? It's never that idea of it is like mundane, mundane, but like it's just like you just gotta get over it. You know what I mean? You have to just do it. You have to just sit and do the things that are like boring, you know, sit through the boring videos and this and that, and you know, just enjoy the process. You know, that's the one thing I really had to learn, was just enjoying the process, because it's gonna be boring at first, you know, but once you get once you get in that flow state, that's when it gets fun, you know. So I just had to keep that in the back of my mind, like the flow state is what I'm looking for, you know. Once I catch that flow state, it's over. Like I know where I belong, you know. I know what I should be doing. But wow, I'm getting dogged right now. Hold on, I gotta step my game up here. Let me sub in some dogs right now. I need Braun in here. Yeah, so after 2021, you know, I locked in, like I said, and I got like a little studio space in my bedroom, and I was just doing it every day. And at that point, it became like, this is what I want to do in my life, you know. And again, I had the inner confidence that I was good. Like I knew I was good. I knew I had greatness in me. But the thing is, it's like I wasn't seeing it from outside. Like people weren't. It's not like I was getting that recognition from others. You know what I mean? Like I had a lot of people telling me like, "Oh, your beats suck." You know what I mean? Like, and I'm like, yeah, I've made shitty beats. You know, I'm like I say, you have to make 1,000 bad beats before you make one good beat. So I had to make 1,000 bad beats. But the thing is, I was never scared to show people what I was making, even if it was bad. You know, I was never. If I felt like it needed to be heard, I would post it. You know, I would let people hear it, this and that, and I'd let them be the critics. Some people liked it, some people don't, and you know, I can't control whether they like it or not. But I know what I can control is what I do. You know, and bro, pass the ball. What are you doing? Yeah, so I can never control what people thought about the music. I just had to just make it, you know? And if people like it, they like it. If not, then, you know, I'll go on to the next thing. But I've always known that I have something unique, you know, because I follow my heart, you know, I follow what I feel is right, you know, and I know that what I'm doing is right, you know. There's no like, dude, come on. Yes, let's go. There's no second thought about whether I should be doing this or not. You know, once I figured out who I was as a person, as my spirit and my soul, like you gotta figure out who you are in this life. If you don't figure out who you are, you're never gonna know what your purpose is and what you should be doing and who you should be around and where you should be spending your time. Like you have to figure that out. Like that's so crucial. And a lot of people, they go about life not figuring that out, not knowing who they are and what they're capable of. And you know, that's scary to me. Come on, Braun. Damn it. Like that shit is scary to me. Like I don't want to. Oh my god, I can't make the three to save my life. Get that. We out. Let's go Curry. Let's go Curry. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, man. So many people they don't go after what they want to do in life. You know, they allow their parents, their friends, their family to peer pressure them into doing things that, you know, that other people want them to do, but they're not doing what they want to do. And you know, we live in a world that we don't understand. You know, so why follow what other people say? You know, why not just do what you want to do and do what you feel is right within inside of you? You know, and I'm always like, you know, I don't think that I know, not that I don't think, I know for sure we're not supposed to be on this earth working every day 7 days a week. Some people, you know, 7 days a week, 5 days a week. You know, we're not supposed to be working every day, paying bills and paying for all this stuff that's abundantly free to us when we're born here. You know, like, you know, we've allowed a matrix to get set up in our minds to believe that this is the way life is, and it's really not. You know, like, we determine what life is. You as an individual determine what your life is and what it's supposed to be. You know, and we've allowed we've allowed people outside of our own minds to dictate what we believe is life, and society is what's supposed to be, and this and that. We have the power to change that in the heartbeat, in the instinct. Society can change in any direction that we want it to go, if we're all thinking on the same level, in the same frequency, vibrating at the same level and frequency, and connecting to the, you know, the universal source, you know, the God frequency, whatever you want to call it. We all have some type of inner connection to one another, and you know, we don't understand this world. We don't understand this life. None of us do. None of us understand this life. So don't ever, like, don't let people make you feel like that you don't know what you're talking about, or you don't know what you're doing, just because they've been around longer. You know, just because they've been walking the earth for 70 plus years, not knowing who they are. Don't let others dictate who you're going to be, you know, and always find out the truth within your heart, you know, and that's what my brand is all about. Going deep within yourself, within your mind, within your heart, your body, finding out who you are, what you're supposed to be here in this earth, why you're here, and what your capabilities are. You know, what are you capable of doing? What God-given gifts were you gifted with to provide, to show to us, to showcase to the world? And we all have something. You know, some of us have many talents, many God-given gifts, but I know for sure we all have at least one gift that is, you know, worthy of showcasing to the world, you know? So it's about just finding what that is and doing your best to, you know, give always put on a show. Being able to put on a show, I just feel like that's like the most important part about life. You know, can you put on the show? Can you do the act that's going to get us to that next level, to get you to that next level? Can you perform on stage, or can you perform in the back room and do your task, do your job correctly, so that the show runs smoothly? You know what I mean? Like, we all have some type of task in this world that we need, that we are a part of, you know? And all of us have a role to play. That's like what I'm trying to say. We all have a role. And if everyone plays their role correctly, if everyone figures out what their role is and plays it correctly, man, life on earth could be so beautiful, man. Just think about all the things here that are abundant. All the food and the water and the space and just everything about this earth, you know, it's just abundance. It's just so much of it. It's so much that we can't even comprehend how much land is really on this planet. And we don't even know if we even know how big this planet really is, you know? We're told that this planet is, you know, X amount of size and there's continents, but we don't know if there's more continents. We have no idea if there's more continents out there that have land and, you know, our people are living on and this and that. We just shown a map of the globe, and, you know, most people just live on congested pieces of land. This earth could be way bigger than we actually know it. You know, yeah, people sail around the world and, you know, they've mapped out the territories of what the earth is, but there's also limitations until how far you can sail in the world. Like the Coast Guard and the Navy, they literally will stop you if you go too far outside the boundaries. So what does that tell you? You know, like if you're on a boat, you literally need special permission to get access to certain islands and certain areas on the water and on the sea. So what does that tell you? It tells you that they're probably hiding more land that they don't want you to know about, you know? And if that's the case, I don't see why we don't all put our resources together to figure out what's really going on this planet. Because they can't stop us, because the people who work for these people are like everyday people like me and you. The securities, these military people, you know, they are taxpayers just like us. You know, they go to work, they're 9 to 5, they, you know, go to school, they pay bills just like us, everyone else. So if they're on the same page that, hey, we are all on one team, and the people who are controlling these industries, they're not on our team, and we need to come together to fight against these corrupt individuals. Because you can't tell me these are human beings. These have to be some type of like aliens or demonic demons that are disguised as humans, doing what they're doing to this world and manipulating the earth. Because this is a really bad. I don't know what's this system that we've allowed to take place for so long. It's really awful. It's really. It's words can't describe how terrible this system is. It's so demonic, and it's so unfair, and it's disgusting. It's the lowest level of frequency that you could possibly be living on is in this matrix that we've allowed to happen. So, you know, I believe that we have the power to change it with just our minds and working together and being able to communicate with one another and be on the same page. That's our way out of this matrix, you know. But everyone has to be on the same page. You know, how do we get people on the same page? Well, find mutual interests. What do we all agree that we all need in our lives? We all need air to breathe, right? Every human being needs air. So that's one thing we can agree on. We need fresh air. We need fresh and clean water to drink. Because without it, we will die. Humans will die without water. And after a certain amount of time, your body will shut down and die if you do not drink water, right? Now, there are some extreme cases of people who have never drank water, or, you know, have fasted from drinking water for years and this and that. Whatever. But most people, they need water, right? We need proper sunlight. We need proper shelter. We need all these food. We need things that everyone needs in their lives, in their day-to-day. Wow, that was crazy. These are all things that we can agree on, that we all have a mutual interest, you know. You might pray to this God, and I might pray to that God, or, you know, I might call it this name, you might call it that name, but at the end of the day, that doesn't matter. What matters is that, hey, do you have fresh water? Do you have food on your table? Do you have lights? Do you have this and that? That's what we need to agree on, you know. These are the things that we need to come together. We need to have town meetings, you know, with your city, with your state, with your county. There needs to be these meetings taking place. You need to have a sense of community in your home, you know, in your hometown, in your state. There needs to be a sense of community going on. And I feel like we're not getting that, you know. It used to be like that. United States used to have a sense of community. People used to, like, really look out for their neighbor. But, you know, nowadays, no. now people don't care about their neighbor. You know, it is doggy dog world. You know, people only care for themselves, and you know, as long as they get for what they need for them and their family, then that's it. You know, and that's why we are in a society today where a lot of people are selfish, and you know, the people at the top of this capitalistic society, they are the most greedy, selfish people you will ever meet in your entire life. You don't even know the level of greed that these people have and selfish that they have. It's on another, like, it's another level. It's not even like thinkable, like what type of level of greed these people are on. You know, they're on a disgusting level of greed, and you know, that's, I would say that's one of the deadly sins: greed, and you know, being selfish, and you know, not treating your neighbor right, like that. That's super demonic, and people who are like that, you know, they, I don't, if there is an afterlife, I don't think those type of people are gonna be in a good place, because what they've done to this world, and how they've really, ooh, Dirk, how they've really, like, really tore this world apart and allowed so much destruction to happen because of their greed and selfishness. So you know, it's just, at the end of the day, we as a society in America, at least, we have the resources to make things happen if we come together. Um, and you know, I would like to see that happen in my lifetime, and I know it will happen. We will come together for the right reasons, and we will turn this ship around. But it's gonna take, you know, good parents raising good kids who are going to question everything, who are going to, you know, put their put their everything that they believe in on the line. You know, do not hold back. We don't need people holding back their truth, what they really feel inside, what they really want to say. Do not hold back. You know, yeah, there's a level of respect you have to have with people in the society, and you know, this and that, but at the end of the day, we are all one and the same. When I go into a grocery store, there's people from all different religions, from all different backgrounds, people who speak different languages, people with different shades of color. But guess what? When we're in line, we all basically got the same food. We're all picking up the same pieces of meat, same drinks, same clothes, this and that. Some have more than others, but at the end of the day, we're all in line getting the same stuff. So why is there such a divide in society, especially in America? Why is there such a divide? Well, it's because there is a lot of poverty, and there's a lot of you know, people who are suffering to make ends meet, and they do things that are, I would say, you know, criminal activity, and then they get classified, and then on the news they get, you know, looked at and judged as being a delinquent, you know, and then that's where, you know, these stigmas come in, and people develop these thought patterns about certain groups of people, and you know, when they're not around these people in person, when they don't know any personally, and they don't have any of these people in their lives as friends, there's a level of misunderstanding, and that's the bad part, is that we don't have a correct level of understanding about one another, because we're not actively meeting with each other face to face. You know, like, for example, I have had plenty of white friends, you know, growing up, but I know people in my family who have never had a real white friend. You know, they have white acquaintances and coworkers, this and that, but like never like a friend that they can go to their house and eat dinner with, you know, their family. You know, I know some black people, or you know, other people of color who don't have any white acquaintances. You know, outside of work and school, they don't talk to any other, you know, cultures or people. And I think that's bad. You know, I think, you know, I had Asian friends, I've had, you know, white friends, I've had obviously black friends, and you know, people from different all backgrounds, Muslims, and Jewish and this and that. I've had friends from all around the world, right? I know people who speak different languages, who were born in different countries, and I'm very friendly with a lot of people. Some, don't want to be my friend anymore, and that's fine. You're not in this world. You're not gonna grow up to always be friends with everybody. You might have friends early on, but as you get older, as you start becoming your true self and who you're really supposed to be, you're, these friends are gonna drop off. People are gonna fade away from you eventually. You're gonna find your true pack of people as you get older, as your ideologies start to change and you start to mature into your true self. That's when you'll attract the right people, or you'll attract people who are vibrating on your same frequency. You know what I mean? And because sometimes you could be vibrating on a low frequency and you can attract the wrong people, but since you're vibrating on a low frequency just like these people, that's what you're gonna be around. So always try to vibrate on a high frequency. Always think positive. Always do positive things in this world, acts of kindness. What you say and what you think, just make sure it's positive. And just always know that there's always a record there's a record of everything you do. I personally believe that there's a record in everything you do. Somebody's watching, somebody's recording, somebody's jotting down, observing everything that you've done, your actions, your words, and interactions you've had with people, and this and that, the choices you make in life. It's being all recorded, and honestly, at the end of the day, if you just do what you feel is right, that you need to do each and every day, and you say the right things to people and to yourself, and you help others, and you help yourself, and you just do what you feel is right, I believe that the universe or God or the world around you it's gonna come to you in abundance, and it's gonna flow to you. Because everything has a flow, everything has a motion in this world. Think about like the ocean. It's like there's a certain motion it goes with. Like one tide doesn't like when you have a tide, it follows the other tides. You know what I mean? It's not like each tide is going its separate ways and this and that. No, it's like there's a rhythm. Like once like there's like an impact in the ocean, there's a ripple, right? And each ripple follows the direction it's supposed to go. It's not like the ripples are going in different. Like each ripple, let's say you make an impact in the ocean, you drop like a big rock, right? That ripple of going left to right to north and south, those ripples are going in that direction, and they're always going in the flow. So they're each going in different directions, like north, south, east, west, but the one before it is moving in the same direction as the one behind it. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, that's kind of how life is. Like we're not all gonna go in the same direction, but there's always gonna be a flow in how people move in this world and where people end up. And some people end up in the right places, some people end up in the wrong places, but at the end of the day, there's a direction that we're all being pushed. It's like there's a race. Like the thing about it, as when we were born into this world and you're in your mom's uterus and stomach, whatever, right? When you're before you get to that stage, you're in your father's ball sack, right? And you get to your mother's uterus, right? There's a race, right? That's like who's the fastest sperm to get to the egg, right? I'm gonna get to the egg. So all of us who are born into this world, and we were the fastest sperm. We were the fastest one out of all the billions of sperms in that race. We were the fastest one, right? So that was the first race. The second race is a marathon, and that's life that we know right now. And this marathon, it depends how you run it. It depends we don't know how long the marathon is. None of us know how long our marathon is. But that's why we have to focus on running our own race. Because we don't know. We don't know when our marathon's going to run, when our marathon's going to end. We have no idea when our race is going to be over. Some of us have really long races. Some of us have really short races. But at the end of the day, we have to focus on our own race and understand that we're going to all end up somewhere. we're all gonna end up somewhere at the end of the day. And some people end up in the place they want to be, or a place that they always desired to be, and some people don't. You know. And you know, I just want to make sure that like I do what I'm supposed to do. That God was giving me, like whatever God has given me, the job, the race, the experiences that I'm supposed to experience, God has blessed me to have before I was born into this world. I want to make sure I do that and more. You know, I find that I experience all the things that are in store for me. You know, you ever hear this the expression or the saying, you know, whatever God has in store for you will come. You know, nobody can take away God's blessings for you. So you just have to be able to have faith and trust in that. You know, no matter how hard things get, you know, you're gonna fall, you're gonna stumble, you're gonna want to give up, you're gonna want to just throw in the towel. But at the end of the day, this is a marathon, and in this marathon, you gotta keep racing, you gotta keep running, you gotta keep walking. Because remember, you are the champ. You won that first race. The sperm to the egg, you won that first race. You're a champ. You're already the champ. Now this second race is the marathon. It's the long run. So understand what it's going to take to get there. And what you have to go through to find more of yourself. You know, all of us have a purpose. All of us have, you know, something that's pushing us to be better. You know, and you just got to lock onto it. So I'm gonna get back to the beats, but I'm gonna take a bathroom break, and then we're gonna load up. We're gonna load up again. You dig? I'm gonna end the stream there, and then maybe I'll do another stream where I show you where I finish, or I'll show you the end product of what I'm doing. I kind of want to just take my time with this, but I appreciate you guys being here with me and, you know, vibing out, this and that. And see you soon. You dig?